is I've now got my AR camera, but besides the camera actually just viewing stuff, we need to give it something to look at. Okay, so what we're going to do is load up something underneath our AR camera called an image target. Okay, so if we go to Game Object and select Vuforia again, you'll see that there's a range of options. Now we sort of went over these earlier. They all do different things. Some work by loading images off the cloud of the Vuforia system. Others work by loading in model targets or 3D scans. We're just going to work with an image here. Okay, so just choose Game Object, Vuforia, Image. That's going to load up our image target. Now, our image target will just sit as like a little empty object in the bottom corner here. Zooming in, remembering that, again, our canvas is disproportionate to our stuff within our Unity scene. It will always be a different size. So what we've got by default on our image target here, okay, if I click on this and zoom in, and just take it out of 2D mode by clicking on the 2D button there if you can't see anything. Okay, this is our 3D plane. This is our image that we've loaded up. Okay, so our augmented reality scene is basically a 3D environment with a 2D user interface overlaid over the top, and that's where our camera feed and all our graphics and so on are placed. So this image target is our default one. It's the one that we're setting up just to get a test working for today. Okay, and you can see that it has this image of an astronaut on there. Okay, this image of an astronaut is one of the default graphics that is actually available within Unity, specifically from Vuforia. What we're going to do is just work with that for this week. Okay, next week onwards we'll actually customize and set up our own unique image targets that we've created. Okay, so with the Unity open and with our image target, our default image target already just created, if you zoom out, you'll see that it's quite small. So the first thing I want to do is just to increase the size of it. So I'm just going to click over here to the transform properties, and rather than being 0.12, etc. in size, I'm just going to change it to a value of 1 on the X, which will increase it in size across all three of these values. Okay, and this is just a standard just image target we're working with. I'm going to File, Save My Scene. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is actually navigate over to the Vuforia website, okay, because this is where we'll need to set up our own individual developer accounts to use when we're making our augmented reality. So over in Google, you'll see that there is a website called Vuforia. Now they specialize in augmented reality and augmented reality focus of software, and they partner with Unity, and that's how we can obviously use them for our own development. What we're going to do is click on the Vuforia developer link within Canvas, which will take you to a page like so. Okay, so this is the developer portal, and you're going to become developers, but what you need to do is to register an account with them. So go over to register and just fill out all the information here. Okay, and when you've done that, click create account and you'll be able to log in. Okay, so here I am now logged into my account. You might be viewing something like this on the home page. I want you to navigate over to the Develop tab. Okay, this is just some existing development I've already got in my account here. Yours should be empty. What you're going to do is you're going to need to click on your License Manager area over here. Okay, this is essentially what's called a license key. It's going to generate a bunch of code for you to use and plug into Unity to actually activate the Vuforia settings we're working with. And this is all free to do because we're using it as a sort of a student project, so there's no issues here with our licensing. So what we need to do is to actually click on Get Development Key. Okay, and that's going to ask us to fill out some information. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we've got to decide a name for our app. Okay, so I'm going to call this iPad AR app, just like our project. Okay, tick the box here and click Confirm. Okay, just like that, we now have iPad AR app available. Okay, if you click on iPad AR app, it will take you to a page that looks like so. This is our license key. Okay, so we just need to literally click and copy and highlight all of this, Command C. All right, and then back in Unity, what we can do, okay, is select on our AR camera, click on the big button over here. All right, what you need to do is find the section that says App License Key, paste it in like so, okay, and then you can just click out of it and you'll see that it's essentially always in there now. Okay, this will then allow our Vuforia settings to work whilst we're testing and exporting and so on. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is actually put something onto our image target to make sure that it's actually working the same way we'd like it to. Okay, so if I select my image target, you can see it's just again our default image. I'm going to apply just a really simple object onto this to just make sure that our augmented reality items are tracking and working. So I'm going to select game object. We're just going to apply a cube under the 3D object menu there. Just apply a cube onto your scene there. If it looks dark like mine, I'm just going to add a light as well. Okay, so just adding a directional light probably wouldn't hurt. So the main thing I can see looking at my cube is that it's a bit bigger compared to my image target. Okay, so I'm just going to resize it. So I'm going to set my cube to a scale of x of 0.5, but you can do whatever you like for yours. Okay, so 0.5 all around, just like so. And again, our light and camera icons there won't render out when we're finished. Okay, so I should have a cube essentially floating above my icon like so. Okay, so now what I can do with that created, I just want to make sure that my settings are all correctly organized. So just one more time under AR Camera, click Open Vuforia Configuration, and just make sure that under Databases it has these two boxes ticked. Okay, so make sure they're both ticked there, and then you can press play. Okay, so here we are again with the camera feed, our buttons and so on. You can also see we've got the Vuforia interface all working now, so showing back the feed. And you should have a printout of your paper settings here, okay, your paper target, your image target. Mine are black and white, yours will hopefully be color. Okay, what you can do is essentially hover this over the camera feed, like so, and just try and wait for the program to recognize your image, get your target working. Just trying this again, load up your image of your page, and you should see hopefully your cube has loaded and attached itself onto the astronaut image there, like so. Okay, so you can move around this bit of paper and you'll see it tracks it fairly well. Okay, it's a really good starting point to get our augmented reality working just using our webcam. Okay, so from here onwards, we're going to be able to actually customize our augmented reality. If you can't get your image to work, the cube to appear, save your project, save your scene, and close Unity and reopen it. And just keep trying that a couple of times. It's not an exact science, unfortunately, but just keep closing and reopening and playing it, and it should work for you. I do find it's a little bit more laggy or a little bit trickier to get it working on the desktops just with the webcam there. But when you build a proper application on the iPad, it should be not a problem at all. Okay, so that's basically what we've looked at so far. We've managed to set up our augmented reality camera working with our cube and our target. Okay, and you can experiment with this augmented reality feature a lot more in your own time. From next week, we'll be actually setting up our own custom image and so on to play in here.